Hi, it's Kevin May from PhocusWire, one of our launch challengers, ShieldSquare Radware. You're Graham Moore. Thank you, Graham, for joining us. You're a security solutions architect at Radware ShieldSquare, so thank you for joining us. Right. It's interesting what you do. I mean, in the research that we've been doing, you talk a lot about GDS fake queries and scraping and things like that. Is there one that's more predominant than one of the other ones?
Yes, I think certainly for the travel industry, I think scraping is a major problem. You know, there's a big risk and a big impact to their business and their revenue. Screen scraping is often carried out by malicious actors that will take that information and maybe sell that on the dark net to competitors, and those competitors are then able to basically use that information to undercut and steal the business, basically. So it has a big revenue impact on organisations.
If you're an organisation that's been scraped and you understand that it has been sold on the dark web, as you say, what can an organisation do, not from a technical perspective, if it discovers that a competitor has been doing that? What do they do about it?
Well, I think it's very difficult once that information is out there. I mean, it will be fairly time limited because, you know, the price is the price today.
Yep.
So they do need to think about a technical solution to solve that problem. One of the best ways to solve that problem is to be able to have early detection of screen scraping technologies that are coming across your website, but it's also how you deal with that. And if you just stop the attacker, they'll just come back. They'll know that they've been stopped. So there are some fairly clever techniques that we can employ to help with that. So we can actually send back the information that the bot is asking for, but we just send back maybe the price is inflated by 10 or 20%. So actually the information they get back
so there's a little bit of mischievousness going on.
Yeah, it's exactly that, you know, and then they don't know that the attack has actually been detected and is actually being successfully overcome. So therefore they leave their attack running, and in actual fact, it could actually end up being more damaging to them.
Yeah, that's pretty cheeky. I like that. Yeah. No, okay. So as a result of being fed in different information, do they then, or is it because it's automated, or do they just decide, oh, okay, they've figured us out, we should go elsewhere?
I think it's like anything. We do this for a number of organisations. You know, I had a large brewery company, for instance, that were being targeted for an attack campaign. We stopped 175,000 web-based application attacks over a 4-week campaign period, right? Okay. And what we saw is actually, it was over a sporting event, and we saw on the quarterfinals, semi-finals and the finals, the attack traffic actually reduced, and on the final they gave up. Probably they gave up because they actually wanted to watch the final, right? But another reason is probably because they got fed up, you know, their attack isn't working, and they can see that we're successfully mitigating it with no impact to that organisation's business. So it's like walking down the street and picking a house to burgle. You go for the easy, soft target, okay? And when you realise that actually it's more difficult, you move on to a softer target.
Okay. What is being done, not so much at a technical level perhaps, but just being done about this at a kind of a regulatory level? I mean, who intervenes to try and stop this kind of stuff? Are there organisations that do this rather than technical stuff that you do?
Well, the whole GDPR issue is, you know, is there, right? So you are expected to be able to protect data. And okay, this is your own pricing information, but robots don't just steal pricing information. You know, they're there to steal other information as well. So organisations should be making sure that they're compliant for GDPR and other types of compliances and regulations, and they therefore need to look at the technology that they have in place to be able to deal with this. And it is a bit of a war, right? It's never ending. The attackers are always going to look for new attack methods. We see now a big growth in encrypted based attacks, where the attackers are actually using encrypted attacks because they understand that most organisations are adopting more and more TLS, SSL encrypted communications to be more secure.
Do you always feel as if you're on the back foot because they're smart, perhaps smarter with the way they can do it? So you're sitting there, oh no, they've done this now.
Well, I think organisations feel like that. And
Right.
that's why organisations turn to companies like us, like Radware, because we are focused on this 24/7. It's all we do every day. So we're there listening on the dark web. We have our security researchers, we have our emergency response team of security analysts and professionals, and they're there to assist you and to be your partner in fighting this security war, really.
Right, but even your organisation, do you just sit there sometimes and marvel at the creativity of the next thing that's come down the pipe, as it were?
There are often times when we see some very creative attacks, and we have to get creative ourselves. Quite often, though, the attacks are actually not that creative. You know,
Right.
For instance, these days you can go and you can decide to spend €5 on a mocha latte, or you can spend your €5 on an attack tool, and you'll get a month's use of an attack tool to be able to attack an organisation.
Right.
But those attacks are not actually that sophisticated. They're fairly easy to overcome if you have the right technology in place.
Okay, and last of all, Graham, I mean, what do you? I know, we were just saying that they're always often one step ahead of you, but what's the kind of next generation of kind of threats that we might see?
Certainly the IoT threats, Internet of Things threats,
Right.
was a really big issue with like the Mirai botnet. What we'll see now is I think the next generation will be the 5G. 5G will open up a whole new scope for IoT-based attacks using 5G devices. That's the next area. And another area as well is APIs. More organisations are moving to the cloud. They're moving their applications into the cloud. They build those applications in a different way. They're using technologies like AWS Lambda or Microsoft Azure's function. These are all little functions that all talk to each other using APIs. And APIs are the next weak link, because a lot of technologies don't even inspect or detect API traffic.
Right, so you're going to be gainfully employed for quite a while, I would
hope
imagine.
so.
Okay, right. Graham Moore, thank you very much.
Great, thank you.